Hey everyone, welcome back. So grateful and thankful for you for joining me this time around. We're getting closer to the holidays, and let's get right to it. We have 2, 3, 4 successful returns. We have one that was returned unsuccessfully, so let's get that one out of the way. This person's been hit or miss, and there he is. He sent the money back in the card in my envelope. Mr. Harold Baines. We'll try him again at some point. I don't know if he's taking a break or what it is, but oh well. All right, on to the successes. So our first one, 4 of 4, 73 days out of Austin, Texas. And this was no fee. Alrighty, so this first player, he was a very good collegiate player. He actually played at the University of Texas for 3 seasons. His junior year at Texas in 1982 was one for the ages. He hit .336 with a .478 on-base percentage and 39 stolen bases. The honors rolled in that year. He was a first-team All-American after being a third-team All-American in 1981 and was voted to the All-Southwest Conference All-Star team by the Associated Press. He was also named the Longhorns team captain. That combination of skill and leadership made him an attractive commodity to major league teams. After finishing his junior year, he decided to make himself available for the 1982 amateur draft. He helped UT get to the College World Series, finishing 3rd and 4th overall in 81 and 82, respectively. If he had decided to stay for his senior season in 1983, he would have helped lead UT to a College World Series title. With teammates and future big leaguers Roger Clemens and Calvin Schiraldi, who were both drafted in the first round of the MLB draft in 1983. This former Longhorn would be drafted 6th overall in 1982 by the Seattle Mariners. Shout out to Eddie's baseball autographs and Flying Dutchman cards. One spot behind Doc Gooden, who went 5th to the Mets. This infielder would go on to play 13 years in the big leagues. He would go on to be traded with Dave Henderson from Seattle to the Boston Red Sox in 1986. They would both play key roles in helping Boston get to the 1986 World Series, where he was reunited with former collegiate teammates Calvin Schiraldi and Roger Clemens. As a member of the Red Sox in 1986, he also tied a modern-day MLB record, scoring 6 runs in a game, tying Mel Ott, who did it twice, Johnny Pesky, and Frank Torrey. Edgardo Alfonso, Sean Green, and Joe Randa would match this feat after this player did. And this player is, if you successfully guessed, there he is, Mr. Spike Owen. There he is a member of the Red Sox, 87 tops. Member as the Mariners, 85 flair. There's the 85 tops. And the 88 score with the Red Sox. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. Owen. Really appreciate your time for that and signing. Happy holidays to you and your family. Be well. All right. So, excuse me. Our next player was also a collegiate stalwart out of William Patterson University, earning the Conference Player of the Year award in 1982. He was also drafted in the 6th round of the same draft as Spike Owen in 1982. He did become a heck of a minor league ball player who had some pop in his bat. And no, I don't mean soda, but power. He could hit the cover off a baseball. In 1982, he would be named Appalachian League Player of the Year while playing for Paintsville in Kentucky, where he slashed a line of 301, 357, and 561 with 63 ribbies and a league-leading 16 home runs in 60 games. He capped off his season with 4 games for Oneonta of the New York Penn League, coming in to replace John Elway, who had to return to Stanford for his senior season of football. He'd go on to be the 1985 International League Player of the Year as a member of the Columbus Clippers and International League Rookie of the Year as well that same season. He'd go on to play 10 years in the big leagues, hitting 117 career home runs. And this was a 2 of 4 of free, no charge, and 78 days. It was out of suburban Illinois. And for you baseball fanatics, you may have guessed Mr. Dan Pasqua. There he is at the 93. Yep, 93 tops. There he is on the 88 score. And he, I guess, is a firm 2. There's the 87 and his 85 Donruss right there. So we'll put those off. All right, Mr. Pasqua, thank you so much for taking the time to sign. We appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and your family. All right, let's keep it going. So, next up we have a 5 of 5, 34 days, and this was no fee out of Phoenix, Arizona. So, if I were to ask you to name the player with the most hits via a bunt, I'm sure your first response would be top of the lineup speed players. And you'd be correct, but the player may surprise you. I'm sure Matty Alou, Rod Carew, Maury Wills, or Vince Coleman come to mind. Those would be great guesses, but incorrect. This player accumulated 188 bunts for base hits in his career. A dying art this day and age in the game. If more players learned to bunt with regularity, it would make teams rethink defensive shifts in the game. Mickey Mantle ranks in the top 10 in career bunt hits. Amazing for a power hitter, but that's another reason why he was the, quote, complete package, unquote. There were games where he even bunted for a hit and hit a home run. All right, sorry, back to our player. Regarding how hated the bunt was, according to this player, he had this to say, and I quote, "I can remember the first time I faced Nolan Ryan," he says. And there's a guy, a Hall of Famer, that threw almost 100 miles an hour. Well, I believe he did hit 100 miles an hour. I remember squaring around and taking a pitch, kind of gauging and seeing what was going on. And he yelled at me from the mound, swing the bat, or I'm going to hit you right in the head." Well, again, there's intimidation involved in that, but the reason Nolan did that is that Nolan didn't like to field the bunt, end quote. This outfielder played in the majors from 1981 to 1997 and took bunting seriously. Every morning during spring training, he would get to the field early and take 250 practice bunts. According to him, "I was just a small guy, a little guy, didn't have a whole lot of pop," he says. "For me, the goal was to get on base. I was a leadoff guy, and for me, the best way I could do that was to lay down a bunt." And he did get on base. In 1992, he led Major League Baseball with 42 bunt base hits. Nearly a quarter of his hits that season were bunts. This player would go on to accumulate an impressive 2,375 hits while batting .290 for his career, oddly only appearing in one All-Star game in his career. He would be diagnosed with cancer in the early part of the season in 1996. He would overcome this deadly disease and return to the field in the latter part of 1996. He'd go on to play the 1997 season before retiring. That may be one of his most defining career achievements. Simply amazing. And as you may have guessed, this player is... There he is, Mr. Brett Butler on the 85 Flair with the Indians. Shout out to House of Cards and Reindeer Studios. Another Indians card, 1985 Topps. Cool. And another 85 Donruss. There's one, the Braves, 83 Topps. And there he is on the 86 Donruss Diamond Kings. Very cool. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Butler. Appreciate you taking the time. Happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you so much. All right, and our last return. This was 19 days, a 3 of 3, and there's $10 per. This was a very cool return. All right, this next return may be the most famous chicken man of all time. More famous than Colonel Sanders himself. He kept fans entertained with his dazzling on-field performances. Believe it or not, he even made his way into the Baseball Hall of Fame. His father was a career military man who served with the Marines in World War II and flew for the Air Force in Korea. This chicken man was the third son of Win and Sue. He was born in Omaha, Nebraska on June 15th of 1958. The boy loved the routines of a military household, doing everything at the same time every day. His father didn't retire from the service until 1967. As the story goes, his parents kept a photograph of his batting stance when he was only 18 months old. And folklore holds that the great Ted Williams once looked at the picture and roared, "That kid's got a hell of a stance. Everything's perfect. He ought to become a great hitter." Interestingly enough, his senior season in high school proved to be the first of many challenges. Scouts started coming to his games, and pitchers wouldn't give him anything to hit. And he started to chase balls out of the strike zone and opened the season hitting 111. His father knew just what to do. He went to the Tampa Bay, Florida Public Library and checked out The Science of Hitting by Ted Williams and put it on his son's bed. The ardent student went 26 for 32 the rest of the way and finished at 485. He would linger in the minors for 6 seasons. According to scouts, he was too slow, not enough power, below average defensively. In 1981, he led the International League in hitting at .335. He would make the big league roster in 1982, supplanting an injured Carney Lansford at third and never looked back. He has achieved legendary status for superstitious routines, from eating chicken before every game to fielding 150 ground balls before every game, and for also enjoying frothy carbonated canned beverages on legendary plane rides. And according to him, he invented Moneyball. And he said, and I quote, "Now they're paying $16 million to guys, but back when I played, I was being chastised in arbitration for getting on base 300 times. They were saying I don't help the ball club. In those days, the greatest formula in arbitration was home runs, runs, and RBIs." And end quote. As you have figured out, it isn't the famous San Diego Chicken. It is the Hall of Fame and legendary hitter, Mr. Wade Boggs. The San Diego Chicken is in the Hall of Fame, actually. I know he has his, we've visited many times, and his old uniform is there. So, and there he is on the 84 Topps. There he is on the 83 Donruss. Awesome. And there he is on the 83 Flair. That looks great. These are awesome here. I'm going to have to include these in Brandon Stebbins' next Beckett submission next month, I would think. Those will look great encased in the Beckett holders. All right, there it is. Thank you, Mr. Boggs, for taking the time. Happy holidays to you and your family. Hope everyone is well. And thanks, everyone out there, again, for tuning in. It was really, really appreciated. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that button. I appreciate it, and hope everyone is well. And I will see everyone again soon. Take care now. Bye.